Chain Drug Review, and Mass Market Retailers Video Forum. Brought to you by the Emerson Group.
Hello everyone, I'm Jeffrey Wolt, Editor-in-Chief of Retail Media IQ. Welcome to our video forum. Today we're thrilled to welcome back Justin Honaman, Head of Retail, Restaurants, and the Consumer Goods Business at Amazon Web Services. Justin, always wonderful to see you.
Yeah, great to see you too, and it was great seeing you this week at NRF.
It's been a couple of years, hard to believe, but a couple of years since we've had you on for a video. And maybe you could just tell me how AI and technology have changed the businesses that you're related to.
AI has been around since the 50s, just as a reminder for anybody that might be new to the tech space or hasn't been, around technology. But what's really accelerated the last couple of years is generative AI, and a lot of interest and excitement around generative AI, a lot of advancements, investments in technology and chips and things called large language models. For us, we launched a whole platform called Bedrock. We launched our own set of models in the space. I mean, it's just been explosive, the investment, but also the interest in retail and consumer goods. And the last time we talked, I think we were talking about use cases and how customers were testing out that technology and looking at ways to leverage it in their business. And a lot of our customers have made a lot of progress in that space, and we can talk about that in a few minutes. Early 2025 is when agentic commerce and agentic AI became not just a buzzword, but became real and interesting, and it became kind of this next level of excitement in the AI space. And so here we are in January 2026 and wrapping up the biggest retail event of the year. And all of those were topics, but certainly helping our customers to differentiate between the different types of capabilities, what are the use cases, how to leverage it, how to make progress in that space, and take advantage of what we bring here at Amazon and AWS has been the big focus this week. And so it was a very exciting week.
Maybe before we look at the future, which I guess will be our main focus, you could just tell us a use case or two where retailers have managed to really transform their business with the use of AI over the last couple of years.
Yeah, so there's so many examples. I'll bucket them in the generative AI space. If you think about first in the content space, like retail AdWords, titles, descriptions, product descriptions, review summarization, all of that was new a couple years ago, and now, of course, is very real today. And many customers of ours are actually leveraging generative AI to help in that space. Another area is certainly IT. So coding, the ability to create new applications without being a coder. The models are excellent at that, and that's a space that we've seen real acceleration. Certainly in marketing, in that space, I mean, images, and then video, short form video. Today there are many advertisements out in public that were created using AI, and that's only going to get better and stronger and more accurate. In the supply chain space, forecasting, a great use case for leveraging AI and only getting better. I could keep going, product innovation and whatnot. But that's really where we've seen a lot of excitement and energy around kind of generative AI. Some examples would be like, using models for AR or VR, virtual try-on, and things like that, like Adidas, for example, in our world, or Mercado Libre in Latin America, one of the largest commerce platforms in the world, using it for help with their retail media and advertising. So there's just so many examples where we're doing work with Pepsi in the AI space. There's just many great examples of where our customers have brought it to life and continuing to accelerate.
Maybe you could talk a little bit now about what you see in the near-term future.
When we were at NRF this week, when our kind of front and center example, you got to see this, was around agentic commerce and how we showed an example of product innovation, and specifically in the retail space around developing a new product for stores. And there was an agent for the market research. There was an agent running product design. There was an agent for the manufacturing process and development of the bill of materials and supplier assessment. Those agents working together in that process and with the human in the loop, as you saw. And that process for that product normally would have been a number of months. And with agents and the speed of being able to move that process quickly is, cuts that down to days and weeks. So another example was in supply chain. We demonstrated how you can use different agents to own different parts of the supply chain or access to data and systems in different parts of the supply chain and begin to coordinate and work across. That's a real unlock for retailers is, supply chain. We know that's a focus and a need for kind of resilience and long-term, support and enablement. And so that was another area we focused on. And then at the show this week, we showed our new Amazon Connect capabilities. So that's our contact center solution for those that may not be familiar with it. And within Amazon Connect now, we've got generative AI capabilities built in, so you can start to see, the chat that might have happened before a call with an agent. You can look at caller sentiment. You can have on-the-fly recommendations, upsell, cross-sell, problem resolution. It's just such a rich experience and such a lightweight solution, powerful. The other thing we showed this week that you highlighted earlier was our new Amazon Leo service, and that's, for those that may not be familiar, Amazon's low Earth orbit service. And 180 satellites have already been launched, with another 3,200 coming in the next weeks and months. And think about this as like you've got retail stores in, outside of major cities or in areas where there's no Wi-Fi connection or cell service, and Amazon Leo can be that answer. It's an incredible opportunity to, connect the community, and that's something we're really focused on. Is how do we bring together the community and help solve some problems for them with our industry expertise and services.
One thing I noted too at the booth that I don't think we touched on was retail media.
The retail ad service is where we've got this this excellence in advertising. There's an engine for driving ads, and we're able to take that engine and allow a retailer, in the example we showed you this week with Macy's, you'll be able to take that service and put it on your own website to drive not only spend to your site, but kind of activation of products on your site. So you get the best of what we've learned from Amazon advertising that's now packaged in a service called the retail ad service. And it's a kind of a win-win, right? The retailer wins, they're receiving additional revenue, ad spend from advertisers that want to be on their platform, and it's a win for them on the retail side because they're driving sales, right? And it's a win for the consumer or shopper because they're getting deals and ads.
Let me ask you this, Justin. Now, backing out, taking a little bigger picture, broader view beyond just what AWS is doing, how is this technology arms race going to affect the landscape in retailing? I mean, companies like Walmart or Amazon obviously have a lot of resources and are investing heavily in technology, developing their own, working with other companies. What can the mid-tier and the smaller retailers do to try and compete?
It's interesting. That's a great question. It's one I talk about often because the larger consumer goods organizations and retailers have teams of people doing master data management and AI and reporting and BI and dashboards and scorecard teams, right? But you're a mid-size or small retailer. You got a couple people, and your data's not good, and you haven't fixed your back office ERP problems, and you still have e-commerce data separate from physical stores. I mean, I could go down the list for all the data challenges. So the idea of even kind of getting into AI and all the excitement of generative AI and agentic, for some, that's a challenge. I mean, they don't have the people to do it, let alone the time or the effort. They got to run the business. As Andy Lodato shared this weekend from Vitamin Shop, you got to keep the lights on. I mean, that's job number one, is run the business, right? And then everything else. So we realize that. And so when we think about the customer could be a 300 store chain, or it could be a couple thousand store chain. And depending on that customer, we bring services, solutions, or partners that can help, to kind of meet the customer where they are. So for a larger retailer that may already have a lot of what they need, they just need the secure, scalable platform, the AI platform like Bedrock, the access to models, the ability to roll out services globally, like, got it. We can provide that for the small to mid-sized retailer that needs hand-holding, they don't have the people to go and figure out which model to use for which use case. They need help cleaning up their data and aligning data and data platforms. I could keep going down the list. Like, we can do that for them. It's also a role for partners in the SI space, small to medium-sized to large consultants. And in fact, I think that's a real opportunity for SIs to kind of be the COE for organizations that don't have the people. It's almost like they can hand it over.
Thanks for sharing your insights with us, Justin. Look forward to continuing the discussion next week.